Hey everyone, I'm Kasia. Ever wanted an easy way to collect feedback in Tableau without messy extract data sources? Today I'll show you how to add a sleek, interactive star rating system using just a free Google form. It's simple, intuitive, and reusable. Let's dive in. First, let's have a look at what we're trying to accomplish. This is a business dashboard template that I've built a while ago. It has a navigation sidebar that includes different icons. Users can click on any icon to further reveal a sidebar menu. We have a section for filters, information about dashboard, data download, and this last one is for feedback. If we click on it, we can see a pane expand. This pane includes short instructions along with a star rating graphic. When I hover over each star, I can see that the stars are being pre-selected accordingly. In order to submit the rating, we need to click on a selected star. Now you can see that a new link has automatically opened up. It goes to a Google form with the star rating pre-selected, so that users only need to click the submit button here. That's an extremely fast and convenient solution that also allows users to submit extra feedback if they have more to share by clicking on the Have More Feedback section, which is optional. I really love this feedback gathering solution because it's quite easy to implement since it doesn't require any extra dummy data sources to be set up. You can also reuse the same form to share a rating and send feedback for more than one dashboard. No need to set that up from scratch. You can just add this to your default template once, and then the maintenance is very minimal. Okay, so let's jump right into the technical setup. First, we need to create a new sheet in our template or an existing dashboard. Add a new sheet into your workbook. Now create a parameter that will store information about the selected rating. The parameter must be of the float type and set up minimum and maximum values to 0 and 5 respectively, as well as the step size to 1. Now create a set of 5 calculations, 1 per each rating. These calculations will be used to color appropriate stars as users hover over them. We will use black for a value of true and light gray for a value of false. Now we will create 5 dummy pills on the columns shelf. Each one will represent each star. Each pill uses a dummy value from 1 to 5. These values will be later used to update our star parameter as users hover over stars. Change the mark type to a shape and select star from the default shapes. For each dummy pill, we will use calculations we have previously created to color our stars. Format the sheet to remove any lines, exclude 0 from the axis, and hide axis entirely. We will display the parameter and use the minimum and maximum range values to assign dark and light shades of gray to values of true and false respectively. Notice how changing the parameter values allows us to color the stars accordingly. Naturally, we don't want to have to manually change the parameter values, but rather change them upon hovering. But for now, as we hover over stars, nothing changes. We will need to set up a dashboard action for this. So let's navigate to our dashboard and let the magic happen. Open the dashboard and drag the stars sheet into the view. You can add the sheet to the feedback section if you have a sidebar, as I do in my template. However, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to place it at the top here, as I know not everyone uses a similar format of a Tableau dashboard template. Once the sheet is placed at the top, we need to set up a dashboard action. We will need two types of actions. First of all, for each star, we will need to create a parameter action that sends the value of a dummy pill to a parameter, so that Tableau knows which rating has been selected. In total, we will need 5 actions, 1 per each star. We could potentially create only one action, but in order to make this work, we would need to use dummy data source with star IDs. Since we want to avoid relying on any dummy data, we'll go ahead with our 5 parameter actions instead. Secondly, we will need a URL action that will send the selected star rating to a Google form. We'll get to that later on once we set up the form. This will be the final step in setting up this star rating functionality. Let's create parameter actions then. For each star, we need to select the star sheet in the source sheet section, then our star parameter in the target parameter section, and in the source field, we will select the star index that this action will represent. So, in order to tell Tableau that the first star has been selected, we will select minimum of 1. For the second star, we will set up a separate action and select minimum of 2, and so on and so on. Each of these actions should run on hover with parameter aggregation set to none and clearing the section set to keep the current value. Let's quickly repeat that for all stars. Okay, let's check what we've achieved so far. After setting up our parameter actions, I can hover over any of them and we can see that the stars are being colored accordingly. This is because the dashboard actions send information about the star that is being hovered over to the parameter, which is in turn used in our calculated field that we use to color stars. What we're missing at this point is the link between Tableau and Google Forms. Let's look into this and create a form. Go to Google Forms and create a new form. We're going to keep this form very simple with only 3 sections. First one is just the title and optional description. For the second section, we will add the rating question with a 5-star scale. Finally, the last section will include an open-end question for those who wish to submit any comments. I did different variations of this form and I encourage you to play around with it to, for example, add a conditional section that reveals additional questions if someone wants to provide a more comprehensive feedback. For the purpose of this tutorial though, we will keep it super simple. Now you might think, how do I pre-fill the form with a value of star rating selected in Tableau? For this, we will use a URL action and we will send the star parameter value via a URL link. Google Forms have an option to pre-fill values of different questions. You can access it if you click on the 3 dots at the top right and select Get Pre-filled Link. You will see that a new window with the form will open, and here you can pre-fill answers to questioner questions. We will select any star and click Get the link. Let's paste that link and have a closer look at it. We're interested in the section of the link after the question mark. This is where the custom values are stored. You can see that there is a reference to a question that we have pre-selected. After the equation mark, there is a value of the question that is being passed. At the moment, it's set to 4. Let's change it to 3 and see what happens. Now to 2. You can see that pre-selection of stars is changing accordingly. This is exactly what we need because now we can replace the static number with our star rating parameter in Tableau to send the value of the star rating from Tableau to Google Forms. Let's go back to Tableau and create a new URL action then. We will select the star sheet in the source sheet section again. We will run the action on select as we want the form to open only when someone clicks on the star. Finally, we will paste our custom Google form URL in the URL section, and we will replace the final 4 at the end of the URL with the star parameter reference. Hit OK and let's test our final setup. Now when we hover over the stars, we can see they are being colored accordingly, and if we click on any rating, a form will pop up with a pre-filled value. The final touch will be adding some instructions to accompany the rating visual. For example, a small text object at the top and a tooltip that clearly guides users to click on the star to submit the rating. And that's it! I hope you learned something new today. If you have any questions, feel free to send them via comments. Happy visiting, everyone!